think I got this working. But anyways, hello all. Jeez, I sound a bit quiet. All right. Okay. Sorry about that. I sounded like hella quiet. Let me. I'm still trying to like mesh around with stuff. Okay, that was good. All right. So I'm gonna try to make this here quick because this is pretty much welcome everyone to viewers to the stream. Essentially, I'm gonna try to make this quick. This is gonna be a manga review because I'm just chatting and I'm gonna do these things on Sunday, and after that I'm gonna pretty much post them and clip them. Hopefully they'll be up by Monday on my YouTube channel, so you can follow me at like Anime Alex. Only difference is there's space on YouTube, but yeah. Anyways, besides that, what this stream is about, we are reviewing the chapters of whatever manga I basically put in the description in the title. So today, uh, Viz basically updated Demon Slayer, Doctor Stone, and Black Clover. Three mangas that I'm caught up with. I'm also caught up with My Hero, but I don't know if I want to review My Hero. If I'm gonna do like another anime review, I'm probably just gonna like set them up different, so I'm not like having to review like 4 or 5 different manga at the same time. So, luckily for me, One Piece got or not really luckily, but One Piece got delayed, so it's pretty much going to be it's pretty much going to be a bit pretty much gonna like be next week until I like get a chance to review One Piece, which that's gonna take Demon Slayer's spot since ta-da, this week Demon Slayer officially ends with the last chapter 205. So, with all that said, let's get into this stream and review my fellow weebs and weebettes. I am your host, Anime Alex, and this is the Demon Slayer chapter 205 manga review. Now, when reading this, I was like, okay, last chapter, throughout the whole like Muzan fight, and we got to the end and it flash forwards in the future to where it's like modern day Japan, and we see that it appears that the characters are reincarnated in their I guess in their future, like in their ancestral selves, because we see that there's 2 Kamado children that look just like Kano, or yeah, just like Kanao and Tanjiro. So we can assume that Kanao and Tanjiro had a family, and their generations spawned out these kids. And we see one of his kids basically is late for school, so he just starts running. And we kind of fly by more characters on the way. We see this black-haired boy that looks like Zenitsu, only taller. So, and he's accompanied by his sister, which also looks like Nezuko's coat. So we can assume that Nezuko and Zenitsu had a family, and their ancestors basically spawned up, or spawned up in modern day Japan. Also, what's funny is that Zenitsu's descendant, the male descendant, actually reads a story and talks to his sister, who actually kind of berates him and bullies him. Not so much like the antithesis as Nezuko, since Nezuko is all soft and caring, but this version you could say this version of her is basically like really brash and abrasive and kind of berates her brother. And so, much like Zenitsu, uh, his relative basically is a womanizer, very, very into girls, gives people death stares and acts pretty crazy around them. So it's pretty, so kind of reminiscent. And but what is really interesting is that he reads a book that is describing what happened in the events to like the final events of the Demon Slayer, like the main story of Demon Slayer, and how they were basically fighting Muzan. And so it appears that the Zenitsu, they said this is the great grandson of Zenitsu. So it appears that Zenitsu, after the battle, made a book about it, like a fictional manga, you could say, about it, and he and his generations read it. So that's pretty interesting. Another interesting part is uh, we see who's that person? It was Tomio's Toshiro. Wait, no, was it Toshiro? I can't remember, but it was Tomio's helper, and we still see him alive, and he's actually a famous artist that he draws is Tomio, and his artist pieces are Tomio. Um, so that's pretty cool. He's a famous artist now, still living, still young. So we also get flashes of Mitsuri Kanroji and Iguro as a husband and wife couple that runs a restaurant. And apparently, if you look at Mitsuri the wrong way, or Mitsuri's reincarnated body the wrong way, uh, Iguro's, I guess, reincarnated self basically throws a knife at people. So he's still pretty, I guess, jealous or overprotective of Mitsuri. We see that Himajima is actually a preschool teacher. Himajima's reincarnated self is a preschool teacher. We see that I'm trying to remember. We see that Tengen's reincarnated self is some like high school famous Olympic gold medalist, like Olympic medalist athlete that people don't typically like because of his attitude. We also fun fact, all these people have the same last name, so all of these people are basically like relatives, or I guess the people who are alive. We also see that there was a Habashira relative, so we see that the boy Inosuke had a family. Don't know with who, but he had a family, and he produced uh, his relative in the future is actually a scientist. So much unlike Inosuke, who is basically a mountain kid and didn't know any better, his relative is actually a smart scientist who, fun fact, discovered the blue spider lily. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're not going to do anything with that information, but it's kind of like leaping back to what Muzan was actually looking for that whole time. Uh, back when they were fighting him, which was the Blue Spider Lily, and lo and behold, Inosuke's future relative, which is actually a female, um, gets a spider, finds the spider lily, and actually researches it in her lab. We pass by the Tanjiro's relative that's running their school passes by three kids. We see the reincarnations of Yu, Sabito, and that one chick. I forget her name, but they all have these little toy action figures of the Fox masks, which is actually really reminiscent. So they, they're all three of those are friends, like a little kid trio. We also see the reincarnations of Zenitsu's master and Master Urodaki, who are basically just playing a game of like playing a tabletop game and then yelling at Tanjiro's little like relative that is basically making a lot of noise and running. We come across we come across two policemen, which are the reincarnations of Sonami and Ginya, and they're chasing down Kamado for whatever reason, and he runs into another boy his age, which is the reincarnation of Rengoku. Looks exactly like him, and they're talking. The reincarnation of Rengoku is trying to convince Tanjiro's relative to join uh, their school's kendo program, and so they're running from the cops, from Ginya and Sonami cops, and until they like reach school. Meanwhile, we pass by the reincarnation of Muchiro Tokito, who's looking up at the sky, and the last chapter flips, like the last page of the chapter flips to Tanjiro's relative mom getting a call, and to the side of her is a picture. Like to the side of her is Tanjiro's Demon Slayer sword, or his sword is actually just mounted on the wall there. So I guess it's a family heirloom. But there's a picture, and the picture is Tanjiro taking a picture with all the Demon Slayer uh, cast that's still alive. So I thought that was really heartwarming. It's a really good way to end the series, and I feel like I know a lot of people seem kind of let down, and you have to understand that the series was just meant, like Muzan was the end. There is no other demon lord. Like I mean, yeah, they could potentially something could happen with the blue spider lilies that like Inosuke's relative is studying, but it ended off on a good note, so I wouldn't really want to push the series any further, and there's no need to since the Demon Slayers are pretty much dead. But there's one person who is still alive from that time, and he is the oldest man in the world according to this, and it's Yubashiki. So that kid who took over his father's role as the leader of the Demon Slayer Corps, he is actually still alive and very old and looks really frail. So, anyways, that is the Demon Slayer review. Now, let's get into the Doctor Stone review, and then I'm gonna get into the Black Clover review. The Doctor Stone review. Okay, so this is my first Doctor Stone review, I believe, and I'm gonna keep this really short, really simple and sweet. I'm very hyped. There's a new scientist. Who could they be? They have a minigun and they're just shooting at them. So they're hostile. We don't know why they are hostile, but I guess they're very antisocial with outsiders, and there appears to be more of them judging by the end of the chapter. But what we find out is the person with the minigun has a plane, and Senku and Ryusuke basically, or Ryusui, not Ryusuke, Ryusui looks up in awe, and they're like, "Let's run and get into cover." Uh, we see that Matsu, the new samurai dude that protects Ginro, he basically gets shot in the arm, but he says it's just a flesh wound, and he kind of shrugs it off. So that I found that I find out that this is an interesting arc because a lot of people are like, "Oh, we're just gonna basically have a Minecraft simulator, and they're gonna go try to find corn. What's gonna be the big bad?" And apparently, the big bad is there's people in America who actually got revived, and not only that, they actually are smart, and they actually have they're like on Senku's level of intelligence, which we've never seen in the series before. So Senku will actually have this will test his limits. He can't just simply outthink everyone because he's just smarter than him, since basically before then he was outthinking people who weren't scientists from the modern world, or he was just outthinking the future, like the future future cave people, I should say. So anyways, while they're running from the plane, he gets uh Kirasame, yeah, that's her name. She gets Senku gets Kirasame to throw this potion that he makes, this cocktail that when she throws it at the plane, it splashes in the engine and actually stalls it out, making the plane crash. And thus, we get the reveal of the masked person who's been shooting at them. And that masked person is a female, it turns out, that chain smokes. So, pretty interesting. I can't wait to see where the series goes. Sukasa looks pretty unfazed by everything. Yo was just busting at them, wasting bullets. But the thing is that their science level is actually above Senku's science level, as Senku said himself. But the good thing is they retrieved the broken parts of the plane, so Senku can actually rebuild it for them for the Kingdom of Science. So that's going to be really exciting. Like the future people are now going to be like, "Ooh, what's an airplane?" And then they're going to show them the airplane, and they're going to be like, "Oh, so we're not going to use hot air balloons now." So we're progressing through another leaps and bounds into air travel, which I think is really cool, because we had hot air balloons and blimps. We got boats now that can cross the oceans, and now we're getting to airplanes. We also have like guns and bombs. So we're slowly getting to the modern we're slowly getting into the modern world, and I feel like the end of the series is basically getting enough materials to make the spacecraft, right, and launching up. And I feel like Senku, like going on with Dr. Stone, I feel like they're going to hit up one or a few of these they're going to hit up like one or few of these like countries. Like right now they're in America to get corn for fuel for the rocket, and then maybe next they're going to go to another country, meet people there that revived, or they'll go to another country for resources, have a problem there, and then uh, get the resources in that country for the rocket, that when they take it back to like their place in Japan, they're going to use the rocket to blast off. And then we're going to see Ray, which Ray is the robot Senku built all the way back when he was not stone, back before it turned into a stone world. And as we know, Ray has waited on his father to get back to the ISS, but as you know, there was no way he could get back up there, and he died. So it's up to Senku to try to go back up. Ray is probably going to be mad that she waited so long, and so we're going to get like a really heartwarming reunion with the two. And as we've seen earlier in earlier chapters, those little stone devices fell down from the moon, which means Ray could be producing those stone devices. Now we don't know what started it all because obviously Ray couldn't start it back when they were living. So, and we know it happened in South America. So maybe they'll uncover that secret. So I don't know. Really great chapter. Doctor Stone is just it is my second favorite anime of all time now. Second favorite manga too of all time. It's just so good. It's like it could do no wrong. My first being One Piece, but yeah. Now we get it into Black Clover. Now with Black Clover, it it's been pretty stagnant with Black Clover lately. Like we'll get flashes of a Black Bull member showing their new capabilities, and I guess this is going to be the theme for the next few chapters. Because last chapters we got Luck going in in these chapters we have Charmy. So Charmy basically looking all plump and thick meets one of the Spade members who can control who has a devil that controls hair magic. I don't know, but she's basically tormenting people, and she hurt Charmy's master, which was one of the heart directors that uh, taught her some things. And what ends up happening is that Charmy's going there for revenge, but Charmy's too, since she's bigger now and fatter, she can't actually move as well, and so she starts taking damage from the hair. And the lady was talking about beauty, you're ugly, you're a pig because you're fat. I don't need to eat. The body only needs nutrients, so she like injects herself with a shot of nutrients. So it's kind of like this whole misconception of beauty is this and stuff, and she thinks everything is like all the world is supposed to be beautiful, or beauty is everything in the world. So ties up Charmy, and then Charmy turns into her dwarven state and uses her new rune magic, like rune enchanting magic, where she basically uses her food magic to turn her enemies into food to eat them up. And it was really confusing. Like the panels were kind of confusing, but then we got a really cool shot as of like adult Charmy at the end, and I thought that was really cool. Charmy is like one of my favorite characters, top five, if not top three favorite characters in all of Black Clover. I would say like Yami, Zora, and Charmy. Those are my top three characters. And so it was a really short chapter. Really not much going on besides Charmy completely pub stomping the Spade Kingdom. So we're seeing more of the Black Clover's rune magic coming, and hopefully we can get to a manga. We can get to a manga chapter that like shows Magna and his strides to get stronger, because lately they've been downplaying Magna, saying how he's too weak. And so I feel like they're going to do something with him and later and give him like a massive buff. And maybe they'll give Zora. Hopefully they'll give my boy Zora a massive buff too, since they're peasants, and they're both peasants, and it's both stated that they've been running missions together. So they might be doing their own training, and so they might come back stronger than ever. Anyways, that was the anime stream. I know it's pretty. I know it was pretty quick. I know it's pretty quick, and this is pretty an awkward way to do it, but I'll try to get better at it. These chapters were pretty short and to the point, and other chapters basically haven't updated yet. So, with all that being said, if you liked the video, please follow my Twitch. Also, go follow me on Twitter and subscribe to my YouTube. So close to being affiliated, so let's try to hit the goal. Anyways, with all that being said, I'm out. Peace.